Hi, I'm Heyzeus, and this is my $20 investment loadout. All the skins in this loadout are operation skins or skins from discontinued cases that are going up in price at the moment, and will probably keep going up in price for a bit. So the aim of this video is to provide a guide for what skins you can buy that'll not only give you nice play skins, but make you a bit of money if you sell them in a few months' time. Also, with some of the more high status skins in this loadout, the AK, the M4, the Deagle, the AWP, you can also buy large numbers of these as an investment if you want as well. But anyway, let's get started. For our Glock, we're going to use a minimal wear Knight, which comes in at 36 cents. A fairly unremarkable skin, but at least it is going to go up in price, and it does look better than the default Glock. For our USP, we're going to use a minimal wear Paragreen, which comes in at 63 cents. Once again, nothing that special about the appearance of this skin, but its price will also go up, and it also does look better than the standard USP. For our dualies, we're going to use a minimal wear Moonian Libra, which comes in at 24 cents. As far as skins go, these aren't too flashy, but I think they're a nice classy dark blue. Like, I don't think they're bad looking. For our CZ, I'm assuming you're going to use a CZ on the CT side and the Tech 9 on the T side. But for our CZ, we're going to use a factory new Army Sheen, which comes in at 19 cents. For our Desert Eagle, we're going to use a field tested Midnight Storm, which comes in at 38 cents. Now, I really like this skin. I think it's a fairly good looking Deagle, but the one downside about the field tested condition is it is quite beaten up. So if you've got a few dollars extra to spare, I'd recommend going for a minimal wear or a factory new one, because I think it is pretty nice looking and it's worth paying for if you can. The price is still going to go up, so it doesn't really change anything. For our P250, we're going to use a minimal wear Crimson Kimono, which comes in at 27 cents. This particular skin is pattern based. It comes in a mix of red and black. I personally prefer the really red ones, or I suppose crimson would be more technically accurate, but keep that in mind when you go to buy one, because you might end up with a skin that doesn't look particularly good. And for our Tech 9, we're going to use a minimal wear Heyzeus, which comes in at $1. Also, with the Heyzeus, it's got these sort of Greek helmets on it. If you'd rather have skulls rather than Greek helmets, buy a battle scarred or a well-worn Heyzeus instead, because as it wears, the skulls, the helmets turn into skulls, and it costs the same price to get a battle scarred or well-worn one. So that's up to you. Let's move on to the SMGs. For the MP9, you'll be using the field-tested Setting Sun, which will cost 40 cents. This particular skin, I think, is pretty cool looking, but by the time you get to the field-tested condition, it is quite beaten up, so make sure you get a low float field-tested skin, because if you had something that was like, 0.3 or something, it would just look like shit. This one's, I think, about 0.15, so make sure you get it down the lower end of the float spectrum for field-tested skins. For our Mac 10, we're going to use a field-tested Nuclear Garden, which comes in at 35 cents. I think this skin looks pretty good. That's all I really feel the need to say about it. For our MP7, we're going to use a factory new Asterion, which comes in at 29 cents. I think this skin's also pretty cool. It's one of those dark blue Gods and Monsters skins that I think look pretty awesome, so yeah, for the amount you pay, it's a pretty dope play skin. For our UMP, we're going to use a minimal wear Indigo, which comes in at 9 cents. This particular skin, it's nothing special, but it's a nice little modest blue color, so nothing wrong with it. For our Bison, we're going to use a minimal wear Chemical Green, which comes at 16 cents. I swear this skin is basically the poor man's Fuel Rod, well, except it's older than the Fuel Rod. The Fuel Rod came out like a year or so after this skin did, so it doesn't look that great, but it doesn't look terrible either. It's sort of a placeholder, since good Bison skins are few and far between. For the P90, we're going to go for a field-tested Death Grip. This is another Hydra case skin. It's worth 60 cents, and I think it's not an amazing skin, but it's still a cool enough design and a cool enough idea, and it is still going to go up in price either way. For the Galil, we'll use a field-tested Urban Rubble, which will cost 35 cents. It's a fairly simple skin, nothing too snazzy, it is what it is. For the FAMAS, we'll use a field-tested Styx, which will cost $1.30. I think this is actually a pretty cool skin. It's got a lot of things I like skulls and, you know, the toxic waste symbols and a good mix of dark red and bone color. I think it's a good combination. It is a bit of a pity that it's so worn though, so if you've got the money, I'd recommend going for a factory new version instead. For the org, we'll use a factory new Daedalus, which costs 26 cents. This skin's sort of got the red version of the sort of Asterian paint design. I think the blue is slightly better on the Asterian, but this still works pretty well. I like the fact that it's a little bit dingy and messy in the way the paint's sort of painted on the gun. And it's just a design I like, to be honest. For the SG553, we'll use a minimal wear Fallout warning, which will cost 17 cents. I think this skin has a pretty good combination of colours as far as sort of darker colours go. The only thing is, it is pattern based, so if you're going to buy one, it might be worth looking at a couple of different skins on the market to get a pattern that you think looks the best. For the SSG, we'll use a field-tested Death's Head, which will cost 75 cents. This one's a Hydra case skin. I'm not really sure what the skin's actually trying to depict. It looks almost like a Mothwing or something in some spots, but I don't know, it's a cool enough combination of colours. For the AWP, we'll use a minimal wear Sun in Leo, which will cost $3.40. This is by far the most expensive skin in this loadout. The reason I decided to make this one expensive is because it's an AWP, and the AWP is obviously the biggest status gun in the game. And also the return you'll get on it will be proportional to the amount you paid. It won't be any worse than anything else, and in fact it may be better. The prices of these are going up quite quickly, and in part because I think it's a really classy skin with a pretty cool design. So for the Scar, we'll use a factory new Army Sheen, which will cost 18 cents. With this skin, yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. Next one. For the T-sided Auto Sniper, we'll use a factory new Orange Kimono, which will cost 18 cents. Even though this is a skin you probably should never be buying, unless it's like, you know, round 15 on Dust 2 to spam the mid doors, I think it is actually a pretty cool skin. I like the combination of colours and the patterns. It is also pattern based as well, so you can get versions that have more black or more orange on the barrel. I like it with the orange on the barrel personally, so even though I'd never really use this gun in game, it is a cool enough skin. For the M4, we'll use a minimal wear Briefing, which will cost $1.25. This is another Hydra skin. I think it's a pretty cool and classy M4. I always like the combination of grey and blue. I think that's what I like about this skin, but it's a pretty cool concept, and I think it's going to keep on going up in price, so it's worth including. And for the AK, we'll use a minimal wear Elite build, which will cost $1.70. This skin, you know, needs no introduction. It might be a bit odd seeing it included here, but its price has actually tripled since it was discontinued, since the Chroma 2 case was discontinued, so it's probably going to keep going up, so that's why I went for it as the AK skin. Also, there's basically no other affordable AK skins that are going to go up in price in the near future, but it's obviously a decent looking skin in its own right as well anyway. Finally, we're up to the shotguns. For the Nova, we're going to use a factory new Moon and Libra, which will be worth 28 cents. Pretty cool looking skin. It's got basically the same pattern as the Sun and Leo. It's less impressive than it is on an AWP. It's like the Nova Hyper Beast versus the AWP Hyper Beast, but still nice enough pattern. For the XM1014, we're going to use a minimal wear Bone Machine, which will cost 60 cents. I think this is a pretty cool design, to be honest, but I am partial to anything with bones on it, so yeah, take that for what it's worth. For the Mag 7, we're going to use a factory new Seabird, which will cost 27 cents. Make sure you do get this skin in factory new. It looks really shit in minimal wear condition. The wear does not do it any favours. For the Sword Off, we're going to use a minimal wear Bamboo Shadow, which will cost 12 cents. This skin is pretty bland, in all honesty. Not terrible, but just bland. But the good news is, it's on a Sword Off, so you never have to see it. For the Negev, we're going to use a factory new Nuclear Waste, yeah, delicious name, which will cost 23 cents. You wouldn't expect this skin to look okay, but it's, you know, a dingy yellow colour and obviously named after nuclear waste. But having said that, I think it actually looks reasonable. I sort of like how it's sort of dirtied up with the radioactive hazard symbols. I think it's kind of cool. It's an okay Negev skin. It's not like it's going to be used much anyway. And for the M249, we're going to use a minimal wear impact drill, which will cost 10 cents. So being an M249, obviously the skin is never going to be used, so I don't really need to comment on it. So that's the $20 investment loadout. I will emphasize again that you can just go buy like 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 of any one of these skins as an investment. Otherwise though, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Heyzeus, thanks for watching, see ya.